Hey guys, welcome to Weapon to Mass Discussion. Today we're going to talk about some 1911s. I'm going to go over 3 different examples I have here for you and just give you a little bit of direction in case you're wondering about 1911s, what to get. Okay, and again, we're going to just give you a little bit of insight as to what a 1911 is, what you're looking at, features, and then maybe at the end of this I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown on 1 or 2 of these. Okay, so you can see I have 3 different varieties here, and we'll just start with the farthest to the right. So this is an Auto Ordinance 1911. This is an FDE. It's a pretty basic model. Kind of has your standard fixed sights. It's a full-size 5-inch barrel. You can see it's not loaded. All right, so this one has a skeletonized trigger, skeletonized hammer. It's got your thumb safety here. It's almost like an extended thumb safety. And then your grip safety. This grip safety comes up. You see that? Whereas this one is just kind of flat. For guys with big meaty hands who push up against the back of their weapons, sometimes you'll get some bite right here, some slide bite when you're using the standard model. With this is like a dovetail they put on here so that it kind of saves you a little bit. Okay, so to decock a 1911, you can't just pull the trigger. You actually have to be pushing on this grip safety. Make sure your thumb safety is down. And then you can pull the trigger, but if you want to just let it down slowly, then you can kind of grab all and do all together at the same time. I'll kind of do that a couple different ways to show you. Okay, that's basically it on this. Just give you a little bit of a better camera angle on the whole thing. Okay. All right, so let's move on. This next one is also a full size, but it has an added muzzle brake on the end of it. That's just going to help keep the nose down. And this is a Colt National Match Gold Cup. Has an adjustable trigger, has adjustable sights. These are very accurate, fun to shoot. This is a very light, crisp pull. So you can see that one's empty. So alternatively, if I wanted to let it down slowly, I could do so without setting off a round if there was one in the chamber. If I push my hand up on there, you can kind of see how my hand is. I mean, I don't have huge hands, but if I had a little bit meatier hands, I could get some bite from that slide or from the hammer itself. There's your mag release right there. And these are 8-round mags, 45 ACP. The only models I have with me today are in the 45 ACP caliber. I don't have anything in the 9 or 380. They do make such a thing. This is an officer's model. It's smaller. It's a 7-round magazine, which is sitting here. You can put the 8 rounds in there, but they're going to stick out the bottom, or you could get some kind of pinky extension. This is a Custom Colt, kind of a higher end model with stippling and checkering. It's got a Smith & Wesson adjustable sights on it. This is from a revolver. A Barstow barrel. It's been accurized. It's fully tuned. You can see inside of there. It's not loaded. It's got a extended slide catch and extended mag release. Competition trigger. Really fun to shoot. Just a little overview of that one there. Okay, so hopefully you learned something, or at least have some kind of insight on these. So let me give you an idea of pricing. So your base model over here, it is probably going to run retail in the $695 range. We could say you could find a used one for $500. This middle one here, these are a little bit harder to get. These are probably going to run you $1,000. A little bit collectible. This one's, I'm not sure of the date on that, but it's got markings on there making me believe it's from the 70s. This one over here, completely custom, takes a lot of work to make one of these. This is going to cost you, I would say, upwards of $2,000 to get work like this done. So all right, let's move on. We're going to do some takedown. Okay, so I'm going to set this one to the side. I'm not going to take that one down. This one is more of your standard model, and I will do a disassembly and reassembly for you. Just keep in mind, so you have a main spring in here that's under pressure. You have a guide rod that kind of slides through this. You see that through the bushing there. A lot of people would prefer to just remove the slide and then take the spring out. I actually prefer to take the spring out first. So we're gonna do that. So to do that, you take this retainer and you're gonna twist it clockwise. I'm just gonna use a magazine to push down on this. You could get a tool, armor's tool for it. For me, I'm just gonna do this. So you could do it in the field if you needed, right? So push it to the side. It's gonna have pressure, so it's gonna kind of pop out, but just be careful. Pull out the cap and pull out the spring. Leave the guide rod in there. It's not gonna come out anyway. Now we will remove the slide. So right in this, you can see this little half moon. You'll pull back the slide to where these serrations are meeting up with that half moon. And right there. Now alternatively, if you wanted to keep the spring in and do it this way, you could. You have pressure on it, you'll be holding it with your hand. On this reverse side, push in on that spot there, and you remove the pin. Okay, now I can remove the slide. That holds the whole thing together. You can see inside the hole. All right, let's go upside down with it. Pull it off the slide. First, I'll show you this. So here's your guide rod, your barrel. This eyelet right here is what holds your frame onto this, right? I mean, obviously you have your rail as well, but this holds kind of the barrel into place. Let's see that. Okay, so now to remove the barrel, you'll want to take this retainer, go to the other side with it. It's about a 45, and then just kind of wiggle it out. Barrel comes out the front, so push this eyelet down, pull the barrel out, and you will see the innards here. So there's your lugs. You've got your serial number. This is where you'd be able to replace your firing pin if you needed to. And we're going to show you the slide, or show you the frame real quick, and then we'll just put it back together. So here's your frame. Pretty simple. Okay, so you see the grooves. So put your barrel back in. Keep that forward. Once you get it in, move it to the back. Kind of more vertical like so. Guide rod goes in, and it's got a little half moon on it. You can set on top of the barrel. Right. Oh, I should have put the retainer in first, but I'm just going to hold it with my hand and try to get it in there without dropping it on the ground. So back to where it comes out. You can also see that little piece right there. That's what you want to put down inside of the groove before you rotate it to this left side. See that? So I'm going to go all the way back and go to 90 on the other side. And I will put this slide back together through there. Rotate it. So kind of watch that. You see in that hole? I didn't realize I was having the camera on it. The eyelet, you want to make sure you have it in line with this hole. So what I like to do is just place this pin back in there temporarily, and you can see if you have it in there. If the barrel is fixed, you're good to go, right? Keep that in there while I set that spring and cap in there. So you can see these are a little bit off-sided. And then we'll just plop that in there. Put a little pressure on it. You can hold the edge of it with your retainer there. And then if you don't want to force it with your finger, you can use a tool until it clicks back into place. And everything but this pin is in place, right? So to get that back, you could go back to that same position where your half moon is meeting up with this hole. You don't want to just rub this all over the slide. You're going to keep it away from there. And then when you get it close, you push it in. I like to go almost straight down. Some of these weapons, like they don't work quite as well going straight down, but push it in. You don't want to scratch the slide up. You'll see that all too often with many 1911s. They'll be all scratched up right there. I like things to look good. It's up to you. Okay, now we have this one here. I'm not going to completely disassemble this. This has a bushing inside of here. I will pull the slide off so you can see what that looks like. But we'll go back to that half moon spot. Okay, and then I'm going to remove this pin. This one doesn't have as much to grab onto from that side, so I've already got it part of the way out. Right there. Get the rest of the way, if I can. Okay. So pull that out, and I will show you what this looks like. This one's a little bit different, right? So this bushing right here sits inside of here. It's a little bit more work to put together if you don't have a small tool with you, because you can, what happens is if I push this guide rod forward, see that hole? You can get a small tool to hold that into place for reassembly. I don't have anything with me down here right now, so I'm gonna not be showing that one full off or fully disassembled anyway. But the innards look the same as the other. It has a dual spring inside of there, one side of the other. And that's basically it. So again, look inside of there, you can see, you can tell when your eyelet's in place or not, right? You can see it. And you can just take your takedown pin and put it in there to retain it where you want it. Pull it back to the half moon spot right there. I pull it out. I don't rub it across the bluing of the gun. Drives me nuts. Okay, push it in. You are good to go. So it's not quite in all the way. There we go. What happens with this one is this extension on here hits against these grips, and so you have to push it in and up at the same time. I forgot that. All right, well, there we have it. All right, guys, I had some fun. I have to admit, weapons are fun. They're fun to discuss. They're fun to learn about. If you enjoyed this, then you give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and give me a comment if you'd like to see something in particular. Have a great one.